Hi, my name is Jennifer Fernandez. I am the early childhood subject matter expert at School Specialty. I'm going to talk to you today about what can you do with a deck of cards. I was doing a little cleaning out the other day, ran across my deck of cards, and it made me think about it's a great thing to provide a lot of activities for children, especially if they are at home. You can use them in the classroom as well, but given the current situation where your children may be learning at home, cards can be a great thing to help come up with some activities. Well, first of all, it's just fun to play cards. And there's tons of benefits, obviously, but there's so many card games: War, Solitaire, Hearts, Go Fish. I don't even remember how to play all those games. I know I played them when I was younger, but luckily we can go online and look at many of those things up. I grew up playing cards. I'm from South Dakota, and many cold winters we had to look for indoor activities to do. So playing cards was a great thing to do. And we go out to my grandparents' house every Sunday. They lived out on a farm not too far from our house. And various members of the family would get together and sit around the table and play a game of pinochle. Now, I'm not suggesting you learn pinochle or teach your children pinochle because it is a very difficult game. But I realized that by playing that game, it was teaching me a lot of skills, a lot of problem solving. There's strategy. You had to know about number combinations. You had to use your memory to keep track of how many of each suit of cards had been played. I was learning social skills, taking turns. And in that game, you have a partner. So you're working with your partner. All are skills that we want children to have, and they'll use all throughout their lives. But in addition to the tried and true card games, playing with cards can be used for lots of other skills, particularly math skills. For our youngest learners, just something as simple as, can they match cards? Can they find cards that are the same suit, or cards that have the same number or character on them? And then you can take it a step further. They can sort the cards, they can make patterns with cards. And then for really younger kids, but particularly older kids, getting them to start playing games where they're actually comparing the cards. A game like War, where each person has half the deck and you each flip a card, and whoever has the higher card or more gets to keep both cards. It's getting kids to start to looking at comparing numbers, which is something they're going to have to do in mathematics all throughout the school years. And then you could change it up a little bit. You could play that game again, and this time the person who has less or a smaller quantity on their cards gets to keep the cards. There are lots of ways to practice addition and subtraction facts using cards. It gets kids to start looking at number combinations, which is very important. And the beauty of cards is that many of them have the symbols on them. So it's a great way to self-check or check answers or check by counting, how many spades are on the number 7, that type of thing. There is an author, her name is Debbie Diller. I had the great pleasure of actually meeting her and talking with her a few years ago. She's written several books, but one of them is called Math Workstations. She actually has a card game in there called Sums of 10. And basically what you do is you lay 9 cards out on a table or on the floor in rows of 3. So you have a row of 3, another row of 3, and another row of 3. The rest of your cards are face down, and you look at the cards that are laid out, that set of 9, and see if the child can start to find cards that would combine to create a sum of 10. And then as they remove those cards, you can add more cards that are in the face down deck. So again, it's looking at those number combinations, it's looking at math facts, and it's doing it in a really fun, kind of meaningful way. The other thing that I think about with cards is building card houses or card structures. This is a very difficult thing to do, but it's great for problem solving. It teaches about cause and effect. It makes you look at symmetry, balance. There's a lot of physics skills going on. Maybe you're doing it with someone else. So how do you work with another person? Those cooperation skills and team building kinds of skills are happening. And then, of course, fine motor skills as you're dealing with the cards and very carefully moving your hands so you don't knock them down. So again, you and your children may think of a million other things to do with a deck of cards, but I'm giving you a start and getting you to start brainstorming as well and see what other fun activities you and your family can come up with. Thanks for listening. We'll see you again.